Welcome to the first in our video series on selling your business. Today's video covers how to best prepare your business for sale. I'm Lindsay Ryan, I'm the Marketing Director here at PDT Solicitors, and with me today I have the brilliant Sian Webber, who is a Senior Associate in our Corporate Transactions team. Our corporate team are ranked as a leading firm by both the Legal 500 and Chambers and Partners, and help UK and international firms to buy and sell their businesses. They do this by working on mergers and acquisitions, buy-ins, buyouts, corporate restructuring and other corporate and commercial transactional matters. Over the past year, the team have worked on over 30 transactions with a value in excess of 215 million. With the average deal value in excess of 10 million. So you've been really busy.
It has been really busy.
Sian's worked on a number of these deals, which include the sale of Bamboo Distribution to Rubicon, the sale of Arden Grange to Alpha Pet, and the secondary buyout of Separate Solicitors. So, Sian, can you tell us a little bit more about what we can expect from today's video?
Yes, of course. So today we're going to be looking at a few top tips I've put together on how best to prepare your business for sale. So these tips will hopefully be of use to you if you're looking to sell your business or even if you've already received an offer.
Fantastic. Right. Okay, so a client's looking to sell their business. Where do they start?
So actually, selling your business isn't all that different from selling your house. Before you put your house up on the market, you're likely to look at it through the eyes of a potential buyer. So in order to get the best possible price, you will want to ensure everything is really well maintained and the house is shown off to its full potential. And exactly the same can be said for selling your business. So the effort that you put in now will result in a smoother sale process and also ensure that you get the best possible price. Many clients will come to us at the outset and say their business is all in great order, everything has been done properly and there's no issues. And it's only once the sale process starts that it becomes apparent that this may not be the case. So in terms of top tips, I've identified 5 things that I'd encourage everyone to do. The first of those tips is to dust off the company's statutory registers.
Okay, statutory registers. Are these the filings that are made to Companies House?
So the statutory registers are actually separate from the filings that are made at Companies House in terms of confirmation statements and other filings. So by law, every company is required to maintain a set of statutory registers. The statutory registers will include things such as details of the company's shareholders, its directors, any movements there have been in the company's share capital, and also details of the persons with significant influence and control in relation to the company. So the registers can be contained in a book or folder, or they can also be maintained electronically. If you're unsure where your registers may be, it may be that your accountant maintains them on your behalf, so it's definitely worth checking with them. And the reason a buyer is likely to want to see those statutory registers is because they are the definitive authority for who owns the shares in the capital of the company.
Fantastic, right, okay. So first locate your statutory registers. Right, what's next?
So a potential buyer is also likely to want to see copies of the terms on which you engage with your customers and suppliers. And that's so they can assess the rights and obligations they're going to have under those terms following completion. And so not only is it possible to ensure all of those contracts have been correctly signed and dated, but it's also important to ensure that the terms you think you govern the relationship with those parties are the terms that actually apply. And then in terms of key customers and suppliers, it's also a buyer's also going to want to check the contracts for rights that may allow the customer or supplier to terminate the contract on a change of ownership or control in relation to the company. And it's likely that a potential buyer is going to want to get a waiver of that right from the customer or supplier or their consent to the transaction. So it's really good to identify any of those clauses now, just so you know they're there and what to expect. Now is also a great time, if you don't have terms and conditions, to put them in place and to get those drafted.
Fantastic. Right, so tip 2, review the customer and supplier contracts. Right, what's next?
So the next question I would normally ask is, what intellectual property does the company own? And that's quite often met with the response, we do have a logo, but we've never got around to registering it. So undertaking an intellectual property audit is a really good exercise to undertake to ascertain what intellectual property the company owns and ensuring it's all being correctly registered. And it's much, much better to protect your company now, should anyone ever try to use the same or similar trademark or logo. And it will also ensure, it will be important to potential buyer to ensure that is all correctly protected.
Fantastic, great. Okay, so we've got statutory registers, we've got supplier and contracts, and we've got intellectual property audit. Okay, right, what's next?
So next I would ask, when did you last review your employment contract and staff handbook? So it's really important that they correctly reflect the latest legislation and include provisions that adequately protect the company. So things like restrictive covenants, a bribery and corruption policy, and GDPR provisions. A buyer is likely to look unfavourably on having to undertake a full review of the employment contracts and staff handbook following completion.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's 4 tips. So what's the last tip?
So a sale is normally the time when any approved tax schemes that the business has put in place will reach fruition. So in order to avoid a hefty tax bill as a result of a tax scheme not having been correctly put in place, it's really useful to undertake an audit of those schemes and to ensure there's no issues which are likely to come to light during the sale process. So common mistakes include not having notified the scheme to HMRC, failure to meet the qualifying conditions when the schemes were put in place, and not realising a disqualifying event has occurred. So it's really good to identify any issues now rather than these coming to light during the sale process and potentially causing delays.
Fantastic. Wow, okay. That's a lot to consider.
Yes, there is a lot to take in, but we can of course help clients prepare. And understandably, business owners will be required to devote their time and attention to the day-to-day running of the company, meaning housekeeping items like this will never find their way to the top of anyone's to-do list. So it's really good to get these matters tidied up pre-sale, as they can lead not only to delays in the sale process, like I've mentioned, but also to a potential buyer seeking to renegotiate the purchase price.
Brilliant. Right, well, some really good advice from Sian there. Right, well, thank you very much for your time today. I hope you found this video useful. If you've got any questions, please feel free to contact Sian or the corporate team, and you'll see the details here for that. And I hope you found this video useful and interesting. Please get in contact if you have any suggestions for videos in the future.